But there are some certain things you need to pull down. In every family, we have strongholds. Tonight, without wasting time, I'm talking on the subject, pull it down. Thank God that every Tuesday is always our warfare nights. And we don't waste time, we put more effort to pray. You pray tonight, you get good results. You put more effort, wonderful things will happen. It was just like the way we prayed last week, Tuesday. Now, pull it down is very, very important at this moment. Thank God we are in a month of prophetic release. But there are some certain things you need to pull down before your release will come to you. There are some certain forces blocking you. If you don't pull those forces down, mighty things will not happen. Some Christians are yet to understand how to engage in warfare. Some don't even understand that warfare is very, very important. They believe whatsoever happened to them is one of those things. There are some people that they are blocking them in all areas of their lives, in all ramifications of their life. They need to pull down some certain things. For example, if you ask me, what are those things that I need to pull down? I have a lot of things that I can tell you that you can pull down tonight. Number one, you need to pull down stronghold in your family. In every family sitting here, we have strongholds. Some people's families, their own stronghold is different. Until you pull down that stronghold, nothing good will happen. There are some people, not stronghold that is affecting them or standing or erected before them, but some certain things are standing in front of them, saying they will not get to their destination until you pull down the thing. I pray that you will get to your destination in Jesus' name. Until you pull down the thing. Some of us at times, we need to pull down some certain things the devil has fashioned against us. Maybe through your thinking, maybe through the things you are doing, maybe in the environment you are living. You need to pull down some certain things so that there can be peace in your life. Let's see what Apostle Paul said in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, from verse 3 to 5. If you pull down tonight, a mighty thing shall be released unto you. After all, there are some people seated here. Maybe some association of some enemies have joined hands together against you. And they don't want you to forge ahead in your life. If you can fight and pull them down, you see that it will be much more easier for you to move and forge ahead. That was what happened to David in his own time. David fought mightily. He pulled down so many things because he realized that the man sitting on the throne is so pathetic. When David was anointed to be king, a king was on the throne. That was a dangerous thing. Not that the throne was vacant. When David was anointed to be king, there was a king there already. And David had been anointed to be the successor of that king. He did not know the time the king will pass on. Now the king who was on the throne got to know that David had been anointed to succeed him. What did he do? He decided to chase him. He decided to fight him. He decided to excommunicate him and wipe him off the face of the earth. I tell you something tonight. David ran helter-skelter from mountains to mountains, from wood to wood, from valley to valley. But God helped him. Not for 1 year, not for even 10 years, not for even 20 years. The man chased him. But God helped him. The Lord who helped David to pull down his enemies, that same God will help you tonight. You have to pull down some certain thing. Pull it down. If you don't pull down that thing, maybe it's sickness, maybe it's poverty, maybe some harassment coming from the enemies in your family. If you don't pull those things down, they will still be harassing you. Maybe some evil thought the devil is trying to put in your hearts. You have to pull it down. Look at what Paul said. In 2 Corinthians chapter 3, he said, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not walk after the flesh. And verse 4 says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Pulling down of strongholds. That thing is strong, erected. It can be strong spiritually. It can be strong physically. But the purpose of that thing was that to limit you from forging ahead. A lot of people have witnessed disappointment in their lives. You have to pull it down. It's a stronghold. A lot of people have been betrayed in their life. You have to pull that thing down. It's a stronghold. Delay has already embarrassed a lot of people. You have to pull it down. It's a stronghold. There are so many things that believers really need to pull down. What about forces in the area we are living? What about the things that are happening in the compound we are living? What about agents of darkness that have been assigned to torment us in the night? Until you pull all these things down, life will never be meaningful. So tonight our gathering is to pull it down. When you pull those things down, life shall be meaningful. You know, to pull down is also to throw down. You know, you pull down things, you can also throw down things. I cannot forget Jehu. Jehu was anointed to be prophet after Elisha. Many of us are not Bible students. And when he was anointed after Elisha, a king, sorry. Elisha was anointed as prophet. Jehu was anointed to be the next king. And Elijah knew he was going away. Elijah could not fight Jezebel because Jezebel was a powerful witch. And you know what Jehu did? I will show you. He did not send people to fight Jezebel because you cannot fight Jezebel. Jezebel had 450 prophets of Baal that divined for her, that surrounded her, that always fight for her. But something happened in 2 Kings chapter 9 from verse 30. Jehu decided to flee the city and Jezebel decided to come out. And in order to seduce, the way he had seduced her husband Ahab, and he took over the commandment of the nation and he started commanding everything. Ahab was the king, but he was just ordinary figurehead. But Jezebel was in charge of everything. But let's see what Jehu said, how they defeated Jezebel. Even though Elisha had already prophesied how Jezebel would die from the beginning of that chapter. But Jehu did it, and it came to pass. Tonight, I also prophesy, maybe you have a Jezebel in your life, that Jezebel shall be thrown down. If you had told me your amen will be dynamic. So our gathering tonight is warfare night. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But let's see 2 Kings chapter 9 from verse 30. And let's see what happened. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face, and tied her hair, and looked out at a window. For what? in order to seduce the king, to seduce Jehu, the way he had seduced her own husband and captured the man. Now Jehu had been anointed. Elisha too had been anointed. Who did this? Elijah. Before passing on, he knew what Jezebel did to him. He knew that he ran because he could not face Jezebel alone. But Elijah killed all the 450 prophets. But Elijah transferred the baton to Elisha. And that's why I don't want to talk about that one from the beginning, but let's look at it tonight in the middle part of the scripture so that you understand. Many of us don't understand some warfare scriptures. And many of us don't understand how to fight warfare. Now let's see what Jehu did. Praise God. And as Jehu entered in at the gates, she said, I had Zimri peace, who slew his master. Then verse 32. And he lifted up his face to the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs. Jehu decided that this woman, she has done a lot of mischievous things. Nobody was able to conquer her, but I have received anointing to conquer her. Tonight you will receive anointing to conquer that thing that is standing before you. You'll be able to pull that thing down. You'll be able to throw that thing down. Now the 3 eunuchs, they helped Jehu. And he said, throw her down. You can see that he did not say they should go and fight her. He said, throw her down. So they threw her down. And some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses. And they trod her underfoot. And you know, before the death of Jezebel, Elisha had already prophesied how Jezebel will die. And that's what Jehu did. He did not fight with Jezebel. He said he should throw her down. The same thing Paul said. You must pull it down. Pull down stronghold of poverty in your life. Pull down stronghold of disappointment. Pull down the stronghold of failure. Pull down the stronghold of evil association. Pull down the stronghold of those who want to take your life before your time. Pull down the stronghold of invisible forces that are fighting you and you don't know. Pull down the stronghold of some certain evil occurrences that has been going on in our lineage, in our families, and nobody was able to stop it. Pull down the stronghold of village warriors. Some of us find it difficult to go to our villages because you know that when you go there, when you return back, something mischievous, something mysterious will happen to you. Let me tell you, you must learn how to fight warfare. Warfare is not to play. It's to pull down and to destroy. To destroy what? To destroy what they have erected, whether physically or spiritually, against you. That's how to fight warfare. Many wanted peace, but they don't want to engage in war. Many wanted progress, but they don't know that so many people are sat on their progress. Many want prosperity, but they don't know that some people have swallowed their prosperity. Many want success. They don't know that their success has been locked up in the strong man's house. And they were lamenting until you learn how to pull down. You know, in some churches, they don't train their members how to fight warfare. They believe that warfare is not part of Christianity. The Bible says in Matthew 11 verse 12, right from the days of John the Baptist up to now, the kingdom of God suffered the violent take it by force. You have to pull down some certain thing. Maybe your boss is sitting on your head. Maybe your own mother is sitting on your head. Maybe somebody in your family. I remember one day we were ministering deliverance in the basement. And God opened my eye. I saw a lady who was believing God for a spouse. And I said, for many years, over 15 years, you have been backing your mother. And anywhere you are going, your mother did not allow people or suitors to see you. I spoke out with annoyance, only annoyance. And something threw the lady from where she sat. The Spirit of the Lord fell upon her. And the Lord, what did I say? I spoke as one of the oracles. I said there must be a separation between that lady and her mother that she has been backing for many years. Her mother became a stronghold in her life, disturbing all the suitors coming. Many of us, there are so many things they have erected against our breakthrough. Can't you see how Isaiah prayed? In Isaiah chapter 45 from verse 2 to 3 or to 5, he said, the Lord will go before you and make all crooked ways to be straight, and break in pieces every gate of brass. A gate is a mighty thing. If you don't pull it down, you may not be able to pass through. I remember when the children of Israel left the land of Egypt, they were jubilating. In their jubilation, they believed they are going to the promised land, the land that is filled with milk and honey. But they were disappointed. When they approached the gate of Jericho, the gate of Jericho has been shut. They said, the Lord did not tell us that we shall meet Jericho on the way. Prophet Moses, before he died, did not prophesy that the people of Jericho will shut the gate against us. But you know what the Lord said to Joshua? The Lord said, you don't need to worry. I am with you. The Lord helped them to pull down the walls of Jericho. He said, but they should go around the wall 7 days. And on the 7th day, the people with the trumpets should blow the trumpet. They blew the trumpet, and all the walls of Jericho fell. Why did the people of Jericho erected war against the children of Israel? Some of them said, Israelites, wherever they get to, whenever they step on the land, they possess the place. They prosper there. They do more exploit. We are afraid of them. We don't want them to pass through our land. The same applies for every Christian. The day you gave your life to Christ and you are a Christian, you are a different person. They will attack you. They'll do all kinds of things against you. They'll fight you from north, south, east, west. I always tell some people in those days when I was a young Christian, if you're not ready to fight warfare, don't be a Christian. You better belong to a society where they'll fight you. They'll fight your finances. They'll fight your families. They'll fight your businesses. They'll fight your life. They'll fight you personally until you pull down. When you start to pull down, they know that you understand or you understood the secret of warfare. That means you don't want to see them. Paul said the weapons of our warfare. So we are the weapon. They are not carnal. They are mighty through God, pulling down all strongholds. I prophesy tonight, all strongholds in our lives, as you are present here, shall be pulled down in Jesus' name. You know, many of us have been Christian for some time. But unfortunately, we have not engaged in pulling down strongholds. And that's why some certain things are happening. I quite remember in those days when I was a very young Christian, and I was heading or leading the team of an intercessors. Whenever we are going out for a crusade, I led them. We pray throughout the night. We'll be praying and we'll be destroying. Don't you know that in every area there is a stronghold in so many places? And that's why some people don't understand. For example, in this area, we are where there is stronghold, except God showed you through prayer. In your area, we have a place that is a stronghold, except God showed you. in your family, where you come from, you have a particular place there. There is a stronghold. Except God open your eyes before you know. If you don't know, you may not know. A lady was having a problem and met a prophet. And the prophet said, there is a tree in your compound. If you can get some people to pull down the tree, you'll be amazed that as you uproot the tree, there is a calabash there. And inside the calabash, there are some certain kola nuts, where they are spoken some certain thing. You don't know what the person is using it to do. It's a stronghold. Somebody can also naked himself or herself, or use a black cloth midnight and tie himself or herself halfway, and that is what he does or she does every night to collect the blessing of people in that environment. That person has erected himself or herself as a stronghold until you pull it down. A lot of people don't understand. I had a pastor. One night, his daughter is in America now. His daughter found it difficult to sleep, and she became uncomfortable in the night, and she was complaining, and she said, "Daddy, it's as if fire is burning from my head to the sole of my feet." It got to a point she was screaming and said, "The fire is too much." Then the Lord started speaking to the pastor. "You have to do something." He started speaking in tongues. He spoke in tongues for 2 hours, getting to almost about 1 a.m. The Lord spoke to him. He said, "Walk out and move out to the third uncompleted building in your streets." Can you move out 1 a.m. if the Lord speaks to you like that? You'll be so much afraid. So the Lord spoke to him, and the Lord said, he should go to the third house, uncompleted building in their streets. She will find 7 women there, that they had an empty pot, and also had on their prepared fire, and each of them had a stick in their hand. And they are cooking the pot, but there was nothing in the pot. Indirectly, your daughter is the one they were cooking in the pot. He stepped out, and to his amazement, as the Lord described, he found 7 women there. He shouted, "Holy Ghost fire!" 3 among them ran. 4 stood. When he was getting very close to them, he started blowing in tongues loudly. They all ran away. He moved to the pot. He threw the pot away. He scattered the physical fire they have prepared. He threw everything away. By the time he would return back home, his daughter was fast asleep. You see how they raise stronghold against many people. Now let me now come to our level, so that some of us will understand where we are going. It does not matter where you are coming from. It does not matter whether you are coming from this nation or from another nation, or even if you are coming from overseas. I want you to understand something tonight. They can erect stronghold against you. And if you don't pull down the stronghold, nothing good will happen. There are some people, they wanted to travel overseas. They have pulled down stronghold or established a stronghold against their passport, that no visa will be issued or will be stamped in their passport. I'm teaching you spiritual things tonight. There are some people, they have erected a stronghold of debt for them. They make money, but the money goes down the drain into debts until you pull down the stronghold. Stronghold is not something you smile against. Those who erected it, They are not erecting it in order for you to have peace. There was a time in the Bible, Genesis 11. Some people just taught it in their own sense and they reach a conclusion. Who is that man living upstairs there? How come that he's the one controlling the universe? How come that he's in charge of everything? We never saw him. We never heard him. And they say it's God. Okay, now why not let us join hands together and let us build a tower? So if we build a tower, we go there, and every morning we'll be able to see him. You know how man can think? Mortal being can think in an irrational way that you don't think towards that area, but the way they are thinking is different. But I can tell you, theologically, the thinking of these people, or the perception of these people, that who is that person who has arrogated more power to himself in his supreme being, the cosmos force. We want to see him. If we get to that place, then we dethrone him. We throw him away. Break down everything that is making him to have power over us. Then we'll control. You know what God did? The Lord came down. And when the Lord came down, he saw them. And the Lord said, no, God himself spoke. He said, nobody can stop these people from what they have imagined to do. Do you know that imagination can be stronghold? Do you know what somebody imagined in his heart towards you or against you? I'll show you. That's what Paul said. And the next thing the Lord did, God came down and he went back. And he said, the only solution I can do for their stronghold not to be erected, the tower they were planning to build, is to scatter their language. The Lord scattered their tongues, and they could not understand themselves. As from tonight, your enemy will not be able to understand themselves. If you don't pull down stronghold, then you cannot exert authority on the enemies. If you don't pull down stronghold, you cannot tell them that the God you are serving is more powerful than their God. If you don't pull down stronghold, you cannot let them know that you are not ordinary. They thought you are ordinary. One of my sons just walked to my office this evening and he said to me, I was smiling. He said one night he was watching one of the messages on YouTube. And suddenly said he did not know, but he just caught a vision. As I was preaching, he saw an angel beside me. And as everywhere I moved, the angel also moved. Now that's why when I speak authoritatively. That's why you don't see me, I don't curse. One of the gifts that God gave to me, and he told me, whatsoever I say is final. It shall be stamped. Every stronghold erected against you shall be pulled down tonight. If I were you, my amen will be dynamic. Can't you see how Jehu said? He did not tell the three Enoch to fight Jezebel. At times, you can fight some people physically because spiritually they are also endowed with power. Jezebel was highly possessed with power. He told Elijah when he killed all the 450 prophets of Baal, he said, if I don't kill you tomorrow, then I'm not Jezebel. Elijah ran. Why did he run? Because she was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And how can Elijah fight those with bow and arrow, with guns and everything? Jezebel told her husband, He says, is it because of the farm of Naboth you failed to take your supper? Who is Naboth? I will get the land for you tomorrow, and you'll be the possession. You see witchcraft power. You see how things happen. There are so many strongholds in life. Some people work in an institution, and in that institution, a stronghold in that institution can be the wife of the director. Every good thing that's supposed to go to all the staff, that they are working very hard, the woman will stampede everything, that it will not be released to people. Some work in some institution, and some people can be a stronghold there. All the people that needed their promotion for many years, somebody will beat his chest. As long as I'm still here, none of them will be promoted. I pray tonight, every stronghold against you shall be pulled down in the name of Jesus. You know, at times many of us don't understand when we are talking about spiritual things. Anybody can be a stronghold in your life. Any material can be a stronghold in your life, depending on what they use, or depending on the type of battles you are fighting. For example, the Israelites, Pharaoh became a stronghold in their lives. For 430 years, it kept them in captivity until when Moses appeared. When Moses appeared, he told them, I will not let you go. Now he told the taskmaster, he said because they had materials to produce enough bricks, that's why they said they had another God. Now listen to me now. Taskmaster, don't give them any raw material again, but they must produce the block that they produce every day. If they fail to produce it, beat them to death. Can you imagine? This thing is happening in our lives. Even though you have read the Bible, but every one of us seated here, many of us, there are so many strongholds that are erected against us, that is making you to cry in your closet, that is making you to run, and you are running, and you are sweating, and still nothing to show for it. The Bible says in Job 14, every man born by a woman, you are born to face trouble. So you want to live on earth, you must be ready to pull down strongholds. You must be ready to pull down. You want to have peace in your life. You want to get to where God said you should be. You need a release of your material, your blessing. Some certain thing must fall. Some certain thing must be thrown down. You don't throw them down, you go nowhere. You don't destroy them, no testimony. At times we have compassion or we feel mercy for some people. But it got to a level, the days of mercy, those days are gone. But at times, because somebody can be behind your walls, and he or she can also be the one taking you around for solution. Until God opens your eyes. If God did not open your eyes, you may not know. Many of us seated here, some of us are brothers, sisters, cousins, nephew, in-laws, father-in-laws, mother-in-laws. They are the stronghold in our lives. And they have seen what we are going to become. And they've taken our name to their meetings. You know, when they take your names to witchcraft meetings, what did they do in that meeting? When they take a vow against you, what was the meaning of the vow in the physical realm? It's to make a stronghold to stand before you. It's to make you to be stagnant. It's to make you not to move forward. Oh, that's why many of you thought the office of a prophet is just for a novice? Or somebody just wake up to say, I'm a prophet? No. You cannot just wake up and say you are a prophet. Office of a prophet is different. I am a prophet of the Lord, to the glory of God. I was sharing something with somebody yesterday. I happened to help some people. One of my daughters, I just had a compassion on her. And after on Saturday they met me. And I said, look, there are some things you are doing that you yourself, you don't know that you are doing it. But there is a strong goal behind it. I'll give you 3 scriptures, and you ask God to show you secrets, that you will see the person who has taken your name to a place and they have done something against you. Lo and behold, I told her, I said, bring out a pen, take these scriptures. Not all scriptures will show you, because some of you at times when you have not reached some certain level, you just knew maybe some few scriptures, you start to brag and start to say you are a prophet. Prophetic office is not a child's play. It's a dangerous office, highly dangerous. That's why you don't hear some people. I'm not talking about these commercial prophets. Many of them ended up as a mad person. Write it down. Take my word. Those who call them, who are commercial prophets that are not called by God, some of them died of stroke. Some of them died in a ghastly motor accident. Because it's a very dangerous office. That if God did not put you there, you put yourself there, you face trouble. Many run mad because they went and entered into an office that is not for them. A prophet from God is a prophet. So that my daughter, yesterday she called me. I did not pick her call because by then I was resting. In the evening I called her. I said, the Lord has showed you something. She said, yes. He said, she can't believe it. I told some friend that they were living together in another country before. I said, she's the one behind your woes. I said, you have now seen the difference between a prophet and a pastor. I said, you see me, will destroy what they have done against you. I said, do you know at times you do some certain things and you sat down and start to ask yourself questions. Why did I do these things? I said, it's a strong goal. Many of us seated here don't understand that strong goal is not something you laugh with. You must pull it down. I love Jehu for that. That they should throw down Jezebel. But from the earliest chapter of that Bible, Elisha had already prophesied. You know, I keep telling you, when a prophet holds oil in his hand, he can destroy anything. Elisha had oil, spoke, and gave it to somebody, and said, take it to such a place. Jezebel will pass through that place, anoint the place, and Jezebel will die, and nobody will see her corpse, and dog will come to lick our blood. That's a prophet. A prophet is dangerous when he speaks, because if he speaks, it will be stamped. Remember when Elisha was going in 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 19, the land of Jericho, the same place where they erected fence against the children of Israel, Joshua cursed that land. He said, whosoever raised this fence again, the firstborn of that person will die. But Joshua was not a prophet, he was just a commander. Elisha came there. They told him, there's a man of God. Can't you see the situation of this nation? Everything looks pleasant, but the ground is barren. The water is naughty. All the farmers use the water to wet their crops. The crops die. Hey, wake up from who you are. Many of you don't understand spiritual things. That's why at times when I look at some of you, I laugh. I just put my hand on my cheeks, I laugh. Now the farmers who use the water to wet their crops, all the crops die. All the young ladies who are yet to get married in that city, they drank from that water. When they got married, they became barren. They can never bring forth because the water is barren. Elisha said, bring me a plate. And he called it a cruse. He said, put salt inside it. He went to the place where the water is gushing out. He said, today, I heal this water. That thing was a stronghold for that nation. They are suffering. Nobody to save them. When Elisha came, Elisha spoke, and he broke that stronghold. From that day, the water became healed, and their life became transformed. And that's why, at times, God always warned me seriously. I don't usually get annoyed with people. And I don't keep mileage with people. And I don't spoil people. If you do anything wrong, and I quickly call, I say, don't try it again. And I warn you, I correct you. I close the chapter. Because I don't put people in my mind. You have problems. Can you see Elisha? When he left that scene, he was going. 42 children saw him. And they said, a bow man, go up. He got annoyed. It's not good for a prophet to get annoyed. He got annoyed. He cursed them. And when he cursed them, he told them, and two sheep came out from the wood, tore the 42 children into pieces. Strongholds are not things that you allow. They are erected for you to suffer. A lady can be a maid servant in your house, but she can be the stronghold in that family. Sent from the village to render the business of your husband useless. Your sister that you are helping can take your money and take it to a place, and a stronghold will be erected against you. What made Micah to become a prophet? He never thought he would be a prophet in his life. Time will not permit me. I just felt like showing you something tonight. Because every stronghold in your life shall be pulled down. If I were you, my amen will be dynamic. And if I tell you to pull it down, use all your strength to pull it down. Yeah. Hallelujah. Praise God. And maybe your sister, Micah, never thought he's going to be a prophet. But until when things were going wrong against him, and he started praying. And one day the Lord spoke to him. Your mother is the one that is causing your problem. Then he asked the Lord, how can my mother cause my problem? And the Lord said, go and ask your mother, all the money you have been sending to your mother, what has she been doing with the money? Micah went from the city to the village, met his mother, and asked his mother. And he said, Mom, I've been sending money to you for some time. Can you show me what we have done with the money? Lo and behold, with jubilation, his mother went into the room, not knowing that she was using the money to buy idols. She brought so many idols from her wardrobe. Micah held his head. He wept. And he now knew that this is the reason why there was problem. The woman did not use the money for an investment. She used the money to buy an idol. And Micah asked her, why did you do this? He said, the more I'm buying the idols will be guiding you. Those things became a stronghold. I want to submit to every one of us seated here tonight. Nation had strongholds. Community had strongholds. Institution, there are strongholds there. Family, there are strongholds there. Except you are a prophet. If you are not a prophet, you can't. You cannot see. I remember we went to a place we wanted to have a crusade. And we were praying midnight. We started from 12. And we got to a place where there was a great stronghold. I led them. And I told them, I said, we have reached a place where if you don't have confidence, go back. It was in the midnight. Because anything can happen. But if your faith is strong, continue to go with us. I called a particular prayer point. There was a stronghold in that area. The spirit in that stronghold entered into a woman in our midst. And the woman tore her dress and ready to fight with me midnight like a man. Then I started laughing. I said, power, power. I told her, I first of all issued the power. I said, you that stronghold, and you that spirit that you have entered into this woman, I decree that you should be blind immediately. Then the woman could not see again. Started saying, I cannot see. If you want to fight, you don't know the person you want to fight against, you are joking. You must be careful. But some people, they are ordained to save people. And once you fight against them, if they move away from that place, there can never be peace in that place until they come back again. Because they will erect a stronghold against everybody there, and life will never be meaningful. Now let's individually, as we start tonight, let's make inventory and look back or inward into our families. What are the type of ordeal that is going on? Bad things that are happening. What type of sicknesses? What type of life? There's some people travel overseas in our families, and when they return back, they became helpless. Is there a particular sickness? Is there a particular notable thing? Are all the ladies in our families, are they living with their spouse? Or they only conceived? Men will come to their father's house to impregnate them. I've seen a woman that has 5 children, and all the 5 children are from 5 men. And that was not our fault. The same thing our mother. The same thing our sister. It's a stronghold. If you don't pull it down, it continues. I pray tonight. I can feel the power of God here. I can sense the movement of the power of the Holy Spirit. Every stronghold in your life shall be pulled down. In the name of Jesus. You know, at times I always talk to some people when they come to church and they say, oh, I want to build my own church. I want to have my own church. What is the foundation of your church? If the foundation of your church is not standing on Christ, it can never last. Maybe for 20, it can be for 10, 20 years. When I see some young ministers when they are celebrating their anniversary, maybe 4th or 5th anniversary, I always tell them, I said, it's not yet time for anniversary. On what platform did you build your church? Because if you did not build your church on the platform of Christ, they will erect a stronghold against the church. And if that church is not strong, that is the end. You know how many battles we have fought here? You know how many people that has passed through here under my tutelage, and they felt that they knew something, and they went to so many places. You know how many places they've taken my name? They told them, they said, the God of that man stick to his back, as if the way Jesus was nailed on the cross. So you can't try anything against him. You better withdraw or you die. Yeah. Many have, they have made attempts. They thought we build the church on ordinary. We build it on the wall of God. In some places they bury things. We don't bury anything here. We don't know anything than the scriptures. But you can go to anywhere. Ask of my name. They'll tell you. They'll tell you that the God of that man never sleeps, never slumber. You try anything, you go for it. That's why I told you don't miss Tuesday, because I said from now to the end of the year, I start to show you spiritual things. Because if you don't understand spiritual things, there is no way you can become great in the physical realm. Don't know anybody in the physical, but you must know people in the spirits. When you know people in the spirits, if they knew that you know them, that's the day you gain your freedom. That's the day they will never touch you. That's the day they will know that don't pass through this person. There are some people, the Lord showed me, and He says, for your personal information. Some ran away from here when I came back. Some could not stay. They realized that the power in this man is going to kill them. Anyone that has erected a stronghold against you must die in the name of Jesus. You know the devastation, the effect of stronghold? It limits your life. It reverses your progress. It makes you to become a laughing stock. It turns you to an object of ridicule. Makes you to become a beggar. If you are rich before, it will be drained off. If they honor you before, you'll be embarrassed. It makes people not to see you for good. But Paul said, in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, in verse 4, look at what he said. He said, the weapon of our warfare, they are not carnal. The mighty true God, pulling down strongholds. Sorry that I've taken your time. It's not part of my life since the beginning of this year. But the Holy Spirit has taken control. But in verse 5, let's see what he says. There are so many strongholds. The greatest stronghold is the heart of man. Thinking evil against you morning, afternoon, night. Every heart that is thinking evil against you, I command the heart to stop. You may not understand what I mean. That's why some people don't understand the battles of life. Look at what the Bible says. It's a casting down imagination. Imagination is a stronghold. Some people imagine to build a tower so that they can see God. And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. You must build yourself to a level that when they are planning or thinking evil against you, immediately it will start to happen to them. Because you have moved with the Almighty. That was how Moses moved with God. He married to an Ethiopian woman. And Aaron and Miriam were gossiping in the camp. What is wrong with Moses? Did he think only him God is using? Look at this man. He has left the shore of Jerusalem and he had gone to Ethiopia to marry an Ethiopian woman. Instantly the Lord spoke to them. You are talking about my own servant Moses. The one, every prophet, and the Lord said, every prophet I speak to them through dreams. But my servant Moses, I speak to him face to face. You gossip about him. Miriam, the Lord said, you will die. Moses was inside. He knew that God was speaking in the camp. Some of you at times, because of the Pentecostal grace, you thought church is something you joke with, or men of God, or prophet of God. You thought people, there are people you can send all kinds of emails to, or WhatsApp message. One of my sons sent me something WhatsApp, a message to me on WhatsApp. I shook my head. He said, this one is going, he want to finish himself. Moses heard it and he ran out and he said, God, you can't kill my sister. And I said, I'm going to kill her. Moses said, why? He said, because he gossip about you. Haven't I said, touch not my anointed? Do my prophet no harm. Moses was so confident. You know what he told God? He said, if you kill her, the Egyptian will talk. Anytime the Lord wanted to do something, Moses too also had something that he can use to corner God. He said, if you kill her, the Egyptian will say, I took my sister out and everybody, and I kill her. So I'm pleading for her. I'm entreating you. Don't kill her. And the Lord said, okay, if I'm not going to kill her, she must move out of the camp for 7 days. But how will he move out? That's how I'll put leprosy on her. And the Lord put leprosy on her. Now listen to me tonight. Thus says the Lord. Any stronghold in your life, you shall not see it again. Now listen to me tonight. Thus says the Lord. Secret thing belongs to God. revealed to us belong to the sons of men. Whosoever is behind your walls in life, tonight, the Lord will expose that person to you. In the name of Jesus. Every stronghold must be pulled down. I will continue on Friday. I've showed you something, but Friday is going to be dangerous. It's a moment of prophetic release. Is he a padlock? I caught vision about some people. They spoke into a padlock, they padlock it, and they threw it into the sea. I command the Spirit of the Lord to go to wherever they have through the padlock and go and pick the padlock and open it. There are 3 people here. They are using dogs to torment them. Before this time tomorrow, those dogs will die. Stronghold. You must pull it down. You don't pull it down. At times when I look at some Christians, especially some of you who love to blow too much grammar, and I laugh. What type of grammar you want to blow that we cannot also blow? When you see life in the spirit realm, fear. But many of you have not seen life in the spirit realm. You only saw life in the surface. That's why at times you compare all of us as if we are together. Some people called me this afternoon. They were talking to me about a particular thing. I told them one word. I said, hear me very well. All what I said, did any fall to the ground? They said, no. I said, but you people made a mistake. I said, Papa, we are begging you. I said, but I forgive you. But do this, do this. Do this, you get peace. I prophesy. Any stronghold that has held you in captivity for many years, I command it to be pulled down. Pull it down. To allow you to stay. Pull it down. When it comes to warfare, it's like as if you are at a war front. An infantry brigade, a commander of war, doesn't have mercy when it is war. Say, clear them. Let there be peace. Lift up your 2 hands. If you cannot pray tonight, it's your fault. I've taken your time, but I want you to pray one prayer point very well. And I want you to put effort. If where you are standing is not okay, you are free to move out of the place. Look at so many of my daughters' ears, blisters, that no suitors coming. I'm not coming down, I'm not laying hands. No husband, you are of age. There is a particular stronghold. Look at some of my sons, you are afraid to get married because of you don't have finances. There's a particular stronghold. What position did you occupy before that was highly prestigious? That money was flowing from north, south, east, west. But now you are begging. There is a stronghold somewhere. When you pull down the stronghold, those things will start to come back. I see all the good things that belongs to you being released back to you. If you believe that, your amen will be dynamic. Are you ready to pull it down? Tell your neighbor, pull it down. Shout it very well. Say, pull it down. Shout it with anger. Pull it down. Evil stronghold in my life, be pulled down now. Aha. Yes. God bless you. Yes. Yes. Open your mouth and shout. Use all your strength. Aha. 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 Be pulled down. Be pulled down. Be pulled down. Be pulled down. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Mambra satale kapari. Yes. In Jesus' name. I want to give you an assignment because tomorrow is tomorrow is a holiday, isn't it? Tomorrow is a public holiday. When you get home for 30 minutes, pray this prayer. But hear this prophecy. Thus says the Lord. Jehu commanded the 3 eunuchs. They threw down Jezebel. I am also commanding all the 4 angels walking with me to throw down all the witches and wizards troubling your life. I repeat again. Thus says the Lord. All you angels walking with me, all the witches and the wizards troubling these people, throw them down. If you are at home, your amen will be dynamic. Thus says the Lord. As regard to covenant, all you angels walking with me, I command you, all the witches and the wizards troubling these people, throw them down in the name of Jesus.